People think the cruelest thing a family can do is scream at you, or strike you, or throw you out. They're wrong. The cruelest thing is when they take the one thing that was ever fully yours, build a shrine to themselves with it, and then expect your gratitude. My brother made a future out of work that came from my head, my hands, my lost sleep. My parents didn't just allow it, they praised him while he did it. If you had walked through our house, you would have assumed my parents had only one child. Evan's life covered the hallway in glossy frames. Graduation grin, internship badge, promotion dinner, his arms slung around people who looked impressed to know him. There was exactly one picture of me, tucked near the coat closet like an afterthought. 10th grade science expo. I was holding a blue ribbon and a project board full of code nobody in my family had bothered to understand. We lived in a neat Ohio suburb where lawns were trimmed on Saturdays and success was measured by which family got mentioned at church. My father, Thomas Hale, ran the house like a factory manager. Firm schedules, firm opinions, final word. My mother, Carol, loved us both in theory, but she loved Evan out loud. He was 27, handsome in that polished, practiced way, a senior developer at a fast-growing tech company in Chicago, recently engaged to a woman named Claire, who always looked magazine-ready. My parents called him our star. I was 22, finishing my senior year at a state university they'd chosen because it was sensible. I had a 3.95 GPA and a machine learning advisor who actually saw me, but every Sunday when I mentioned my research, my mother smiled politely and turned back to Evan's latest victory. I didn't mind being overlooked. What I minded was realizing what my brother had been doing in the dark. The safest place I knew was the computer science lab after midnight. 3rd floor of Benton Hall, no windows, stale coffee in the air, one fluorescent tube buzzing like it had a grudge against sleep. That was where my real life happened. I sat in the same chair night after night, headphones on, building an adaptive optimization system that could learn from failure and correct itself in real time. I'd been shaping it for nearly 2 years. Every version lived in my private repository, time-stamped, annotated, unmistakably mine. My advisor, Dr. Lena Mercer, was 60 and allergic to nonsense. The first time she reviewed my code, she lowered her glasses and said, "This is graduate-level work. Why are you still here?" Because good enough had always been the family standard. My laptop was old and moody, so I kept backups on the family cloud drive my father had made for tax returns and vacation photos. I never imagined that convenience would become an open door. At Sunday dinners, Evan liked to arrive late and talk big. One night, he started describing a predictive analytics engine at work, using my language with an ease that made my stomach drop. Dad leaned back, proud as a king. Mom glowed. Evan caught my eye across the table and gave me a quick little wink, smug and private. Not brotherly, triumphant. It wasn't the first time. At 16, I had written half a project for him when he called in a panic. He got the grade. Mom called it helping family. After that, he kept taking pieces, frameworks, ideas, code. Small thefts at first, then bigger ones. The proof arrived in February by email. A data architect named Simon Reed asked whether Evan and I had collaborated, because my working paper looked remarkably similar to the engine Evan claimed to have built at his company. My hands went cold. I pulled up the access history on the cloud account. 43 logins. Evan had opened my folders for years, usually after midnight, when he knew I was asleep or gone. I took the printouts to Dr. Mercer. She asked, "Do you want revenge, or do you want your future?" I wanted both, so I chose patience. I finished my transfer application to a research program in D.C., secured funding, and built a clean record. Repository history, notebook dates, email threads, cloud logs, even a recent call where Evan asked how his recursive layer worked. Then I waited. The confrontation came at Friday dinner. My parents accused me of jealousy, demanded an apology, and threatened to cut tuition if I kept punishing my brother. I let them finish. Then I told them I was leaving for good. Before they recovered, I opened my laptop. "Explain the dampening function," I said. Evan couldn't. Claire stood first. My father went gray. My mother covered her mouth. I told them I had already sent the evidence to Evan's company in graduate school. By August, I was in DC, working under people who knew my worth. By October, Evan had lost his job and degree. My parents finally saw me. Too late to keep me, just in time to watch me leave.